Hey everyone, I hope we're all having an amazing day. So today we're going to be talking about bronzer do's and don'ts. Now this is something that's super important to avoid a muddy finish, and so I'm basically just going to be reading over my blog post on this, and we're going to get into it. I'm just going to go over some common things that you should know to get that flawless, warm, bronzy finish that we all see online. I'm gonna go over the don'ts just so that you kind of, you have an introductory on where you're going wrong if you are struggling with it, and then we're gonna go over the do's on how to fix it. Okay, so the first thing is don't overdo it. I mentioned this earlier, and if you overdo it with bronzer, you're gonna find that you get a super muddy, patchy, dark, just glob of brown on your face, which is not what you want. And so it's really important to remember that a little goes a long way. It's not like very useful if you apply a lot, because it's honestly just gonna leave you with a really weird finish. So just remember that a little goes a long way. Take your time to blend and apply it in small amounts and then kind of build up as you go. You can see here that I have a really nice, pretty natural bronze because I took my time to blend it, and I will link my video on where I did this makeup tutorial if you want to learn how to get this type of bronze. The second thing is don't use the wrong thing to blend. This is so crucial, and I remember when I first used bronzer like 3.5 years ago, I was using the wrong brush. I was using a brush that, let me see if I can find this one. Okay, so this isn't the brush that I was using, but it looked like this. This is gonna be like the death of you. If you use a brush like this, this is what's gonna give you that muddy, dark finish that's so difficult to blend. You wanna use something like this. And the reason why is because it allows for mistakes. It's gonna pick up that bronzer effortlessly. It's gonna blend it effortlessly too. And it's gonna be super easy to blend anything out if you make mistakes. It also really distributes it well because it's a big brush. You can see that there's a lot to work with when you use a brush like this, and it's so easy to use. And this is actually the brush that I used for this. And look at that, it's so flawless. It blends seamlessly with the makeup, and it's just amazing. Use a brush like this because it's really easy to fix it. If you do make a mistake, you can see the clear difference. Which one would you think is easier to use to blend? It's definitely gonna be this one. Danger. My mom's calling me. Sorry, I got cut off there, but yeah, so it's really important to use a fluffy angled brush like the one that I just showed you for that flawless finish. Number 3, don't forget to blend. So when you're doing bronzer, when you're using bronzer and really any makeup product in general, it's important to remember to blend, blend, blend. Keep on blending. Even if if you're not sure, just keep blending. Because I have walked out of my house so many times with a muddy, patchy finish, not knowing what was happening. And so it's important to just blend, blend, blend. Truly remember that, because it's gonna help you achieve that flawless, warm glow. And the bronzer that you use also matters. I'll go over that in a bit. But yeah, just remember to blend, 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 and make sure that you apply that bronzer and blend it in natural lighting. Don't be in a dark room or some dimly lit place, because it's just not gonna look good if you do that. Number 3, this is one that a lot of makeup beginners tend to get confused with. Don't use bronzer as contour. So it's crucial to remember that they're totally separate things with totally separate results. And so remember that bronzer is gonna give you that warm, glowy finish. Contour is gonna sculpt and add shadows to your face. And a lot of beginners think it's the same thing, bronzer and contour. It's not. So if you're trying to use bronzer as contour or contour as bronzer, it's not gonna work. And so just remember that they're polar opposites and that they're totally separate. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out because I think a lot of people, they'll maybe use contour and think it's bronzer, or they're confused about why it's making them look a little bit gray or, not giving them warmth. They're totally separate. It's just, remember that. 4, don't use it as a base. I think this one is common sense, but I just put it in because someone asked me that before and I was like, no. So I just want to go over this really quickly. Because of the darker shade that bronzer is, it's not a base and will not substitute as a base. And so just remember that you apply it after you apply your foundation, your concealer, or before, whatever you do for your makeup routine that works, but it's not a base. Just wanted to clarify that for some of you who are confused on that. Okay, don't forget to check it. So this is the last thing that I want you to remember. Don't forget to check it in natural lighting. I mentioned this before, But yeah, just make sure that you are in natural lighting when you blend it, just so that to avoid that muddy, patchy finish. Cool. Okay, now we're gonna go over the do's. The do's, there's a lot more do's and don'ts, so that's very encouraging. Okay, so do use a warm tone. Like this I was mentioning before, contour is not bronzer and bronzer is not contour. So also, even when you get that out of the way, there's the whole issue of a bronzer being orange or, you know, cool toned. And so basically a ton of bronzers out there are actually not even bronzers. They're just like orange, like just give you an orange weird finish. And so that's why it's important to really look into the brand and the one that you're purchasing. Now the one I use is by Hourglass, and that one is amazing, and it's totally like, I feel what gives me that really warm like look that you see online. Like I was really wondering what is the product that's going to give me that, and it's definitely the Hourglass bronzer. So if you're looking for something that's going to give you a finish like this, look into that. But yeah, it's just important to make sure that your bronzer isn't orange and it's not cool toned. And the reason why bronzer is supposed to be warm toned is because it brings some color to your face, some life, you know, especially during the winter months. I was relying on it a lot. And so yeah, just remember that it's supposed to be warmer toned. 2, do use bronzer as eyeshadow. So I love using bronzer as eyeshadow, and I'll actually link my YouTube video down below on my eyeshadow looks that I like to do with bronzer, because it's such a beautiful and easy form of eyeshadow. It's so easy to blend, etc. I just love it. So just wanted to mention that, you know, to add a little bit of pop, some dimension to your face and your eyes, use bronzer, and you can pop a little bit onto the end of your eye, and it looks so good, and it's so easy to use, so I would recommend it too. 3, do use a light hand. So this is important. Make sure that when you're blending it, you're not like, you know, like that, because I'll see people like on TikTok that are just like, they're just like going crazy like there's no tomorrow. No, you want to kind of go in a buffing motion. So when you're going like this, it's gonna give you those unattractive, dark, harsh lines that no one wants, and you're just gonna have to spend time redoing it. So make sure that you're going in a light buffing motion, just like that, all over the outer parts of your face. Okay, cool. Number 4, do apply in the right places. So this is just ties in to what I was saying. In order to receive that warm, glowing finish, it's important to apply the bronzer in the right places. From now on, focus on the outer parts of your face. So you want to apply it on your cheekbones, around the edge of your forehead, temples, chin, and jawline. So remember those 5, because that's what's going to give you that warm glow. And if you bring it in, you're going to find that it makes you look a little bit weird. It might work for you in your face shape, but for a majority of people, just keep it to the outer parts of your face to give you that glow. Okay, I think I'm on number 5 now. 5, yeah. Blend, blend, blend. So blending is just as important as getting the shade right. So please do blend. Start off with a small amount and keep building it as needed. I find that sometimes I'll apply my bronzer, and then after blush, after I'm done with my whole makeup look, I'll go over it again lightly to just kind of tie it in together, because sometimes it'll fall off or other makeup will hide it. So just remember to blend, blend, blend. Again, do it in natural lighting so that you don't overdo it. Do use a big brush. So we just went over this, but it's really important, and it's a very useful thing for every makeup beginner to know, and it's crucial to use a big brush because it's just a lot quicker, it's easier, it allows for mistakes. There's just so many pros with using a brush like this. Oh, by the way, I didn't even share. This is a Do Care Tapered Face Brush number 158. So good. Okay, and that was the last one. I don't know why I thought I had more for some reason, but I hope you found that helpful, and I'll link my video down below too on how to use bronzer, because I think a lot of people, like, you've heard the do's and don'ts, so now you need to learn how to apply it. I'll link that video down below for you, as well as a couple of my blog posts about bronzer. So thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe if you're a makeup beginner. I'm here to help you, and if you have any questions, just comment and I will answer for you. But yeah, I hope you all have an amazing day, and yeah, thank you. Bye.